What is it? What are you gonna do with it? How do you dispose of it? And then what? I feel like everything I do, I'm checking for snakes. Just a rope. What's that?
Well, anyways, it's a pump, and we're going to use this pump to move hydraulic fluid and tractor oil from 55-gallon trash cans that we use to empty out some of the tractors. And we also have an herbicide tank with an unknown substance in it that I'm going to pump out and put into a tote so we can use it to spray our fields. And
use the tank, not the substance.
Yeah, we're going to use the tank to spray our fields, and whatever substance in it, it needs to be removed. Comes with a cool little filter on it. That way if anything fell in there, it won't suck it up and get caught in the fan or the motor or whatever pushes the liquid. Give her a nice little tight. Totally cool. Well, let's see how she works. We'll dump this filtered side in here just in case a bunch of debris fell in here. I don't know, maybe some animals or insects or dust or grass. We don't want any of that getting sucked into the pump. So let's get it going. Turn it on.
I just did some major pruning to the sunflowers and tomatoes in our garden. They were both so overgrown. So for the sunflowers, I trimmed all the leaves that were my height and below. And for the tomato, I watched a video on YouTube, and I hope I did it right, but I believe we have the vining kind. So that means all the tomatoes actually grow along a central vine, which I didn't know. So I pruned off most of the leaves on the sort of offshoots, since they won't produce fruit anyway, and I'm hoping that the energy gets directed into the tomatoes on the vine and growing more tomatoes. So we'll see how it does. It's the end of June and it's the middle of the day. It's probably low 90s temperature wise. So I'm hoping the tomato doesn't get stressed out too much by getting such a heavy pruning in the middle of summer. But who knows? It's a little bit of an experiment, trial and error. We're learning how to do all this. And we have another tomato plant that's been doing great. So I'm honestly not that worried about stressing it out. Nature will be nature. It'll grow back if it doesn't do well, or we can learn, chalk it up to experience and try something different next time. But fingers crossed.
All right, I got a very short work week. There's gonna be a few things that I wanna get done before the holiday. This coming weekend is 4th of July, and I'm gonna be heading to Austin to celebrate, hang out with some friends, make a beef delivery, float the river in San Marcos. Just take some time to get away from the ranch because all we do is work out here. I'm very excited about it. What I want to do is prep the tractors for cutting hay when I get back. The John Deere 4240 doesn't have any AC right now. When I get back from 4th of July weekend, it's going to be in the high 90s. I'm thinking about using the John Deere 6100D to cut hay and bale hay. It's got a flat in the front left tire, so I need to fix that. The next thing is to see which lots need to be cut. We have 5 lots in total that we use for hay. I just added a 6th one, so I'm actually in the field right now where the 6th one was added and checking out the grass. It looks really good. Looks really good. I can't wait to get a cut off of this. The lot around my parents' house is pretty much ready. I don't want to do it just yet. We got roughly 2.5 inches of rain, maybe 3 inches of rain on June 15th. I'm using AI to kind of guide me with all that. I see a lot of people cutting their hay now, but we can still get some significant growth from that field and a better yield if we just hold out just a little bit longer. Another thing that I want to do is get the farm truck going. We have a nice mobile welder on a trailer. I don't want that welder on the trailer anymore. I want it on the back of the farm truck. So I'll probably end up moving that, changing the oil on that, and make it permanent on that pickup truck. That's what I want. I want to be able just to back up to a trailer and have all my equipment on it and my welder in the back. It's easy just to be mobile. In addition to all that, I'm maybe going to try to get to the fence. We'll see how fast I am. I might just get one thing done. But let me show you the grass and how it looks here. There's a little bit of weeds. My cows don't care. They'll, as long as we have enough hay for them each winter, it should be good. But it's looking nice and green. Let me show you. Don't look too bad. Another thing that I need to do is we have an herbicide trailer with an unknown liquid in it. So I'm going to use that pump that I bought and pump it out into a tote. We're going to use Duracor, I think it's what it's called. We also need to mow the fields. There's a lot of cockaburs coming up that are in their youth. So I might get to that today. The tractor's already connected, just do a few rounds around that and get that knocked down. Dang, the grass is looking really good. I'm excited about that. I still have quite a few mesquites around here, but I'll just cut around them and rake around them and bale around them. I cannot get out here with a machete and an axe and start pulling these things out. It's just too much work. I'm going to buy an attachment that goes on the tractor or rent a skid steer, but I think the tractor attachment's going to be where it's at for now. It's going to take longer to get to the bigger fields and get all that done, but as long as we can handle these small fields, that's fine. I hope at some point this lot can look like this hay lot over here. Let me show you. This is lot 1. Absolutely beautiful. Look at it right behind me. All right, let's go check on the cows. I got that bull and that cow still put up. I think that mother might be ready to return to the field. Her babies should be weaned as well, already off the tit and eating grass and hay and feed, and hopefully she's moved on from that motherhood relationship. Check the bull and check the rest of the cows, the breeding heifers and the younger heifers in their holding areas. Let's go. Hello, Mr. Bull. How was your weekend? He always seems so unhappy. Seems mad. Always growling. I guess he's got a lot of testosterone rolling in him. Beautiful bull. Just wild. All right, I'm gonna pick up some feed, run over here to this pen with all those calves that are being weaned with those steers. And after that, we'll check on the breeding heifers. And I don't know, we'll see what's up. Come on, cows. Raina, little cow, supper time. Hey, 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 leave my camera alone. Come on, cows. Come on, cows. Come on, Raina. Raina, little cow, supper time. Come on, Raina. Come on, Mama. I absolutely love seeing Raina and this other little calf 45 build a little relationship. Looks like there's some trust there. So I always worry about Raina not being able to have any friends because she wasn't really raised around cows at all. Can you say hi? Next, we'll check on these girls and see what's going on with them. We got our heifer bull in here with these breeding heifers. Morning, cows. How are y'all? Did everyone have a good weekend? Great. I don't mind being around this bull over here. He's pretty cool. Now, everyone seems to be enjoying their shade. Everyone had a great weekend. How about you, Mr. Rainfall? How are you doing today? Good. I wouldn't be able to even get this close to the other bull because he's so aggressive. This one is easy to be around. Looks like we have some tails that are up right now. Number 48, still in heat. That bull is pretty easy to be around. You can pet him. I still respect his space though. You never know. They might just get, you know, crazy with some testosterone and run over you. But let's go check on the mature cows and see what's up with them. Everybody seems to be doing fine back here. Hey girls! How was your weekend? Nice. Oh, hey Raina's mom. How are you? Good. This is where the terminal bull was at. A lot of these girls are probably already pregnant. Only a handful of them are probably open and ready to breed. So there's 18 of them. Well, 16 now. But yeah. Anyways, let's get to work. Okay, the next thing on my list is to do a little bit of damage control. I've hopped in the John Deere 4240. I'm going to mow those cockleburrs down in a few of those high areas. It's not a permanent solution, but it's a temporary solution. The last thing I want is those seeds to start getting into cows' faces, their ears. In addition to that, the steers as well. It can get on their penis and just really irritate them. I need to spray. That's top of my list. I also want to mow around the fence that needs repair down the middle. That way I can start working on that and not have to worry about being, you know, shin high, knee deep in grass. So let's go ahead and get this thing started. Every time it starts for me, this thing is just incredible. It sounds incredible. I love the way the straight pipe exhaust sounds like an 18-wheeler, like a Peterbilt. These John Deere 4240s are amazing. I just need AC. I'll put that on here pretty soon. I'm going to mow around this equipment. Shouldn't take too long, probably a few minutes. Just want to make sure everything doesn't get grown too high around here.
Well, I whipped out the old sewing machine. My parents brought it for me the last time they were in town, and it looks like I will be doing some mending of Ryan's jeans. I thought it would be cool to show how I fixed some of these tears in his pants. You can see this giant rip. He had gotten caught in some barbed wire, I believe. You'll have to ask him the story. But this one, let me turn the jeans inside out. So for this one, I cut a big, oversized L-shaped patch that went about 2 inches over the tear in either direction. Then after pinning it, I flipped it back to the regular right side out and did this stitch along the actual rip. So the center one is where the jeans tore. Then I did a single stitch along like a picture frame to keep the patch in place and just kind of a reinforcement. And then after trimming the patch down to, maybe this is ½ an inch or so, then I did another zigzag to keep the patch itself from fraying. It might be a little bit overkill, but I haven't sown in years, and I just kind of went with my intuition on what I thought would help for keeping everything together and keeping any future rips from happening. I noticed a little tear over here as well, so I just did kind of a back and forth and then another little picture frame around it. So yeah, we'll see what he thinks.
I'm gonna leave this tractor here because I know if I open up this gate, they're gonna run out. So they can eat some of the grass off the top of the mower.
These must be Ryan's favorite jeans because I kept finding more little areas that needed to be patched. He's got a whole denim quilt on his butt. And just when I thought I was done, yep, favorite jeans. Well, I broke the needle. It's really tough to get through these double seam areas, but I think this is pretty close to being good enough. The main point is that the tears don't continue to fray so that he can wear the jeans for longer, and I think this will do exactly that. You also don't want to put too many holes in your jeans with the new stitches because that can actually make the fabric weaker in a way. So it's kind of finding the right balance, but I don't think this hole is going anywhere. That's gonna be it for today.
So I got a flat tire on this truck. Probably got it from the field. We got a thorn stuck in it from those mesquite trees. Let's get this thing plugged, and then the next thing I want to do to this truck is put the welder in the back. Right now the welder is on the back of a trailer. I don't really like that. I would really like to have it on the truck. That way I can either pull up or downwind from where I'm welding at, because I don't like the way the fumes smell from the welder. And it'll just make things simpler. I have a trailer with T-post on it. I can just pull them off, and I can also put metal in the back and just pull all that off, and it'll make things a lot easier. Let's do it. So there's the hole right there. I'm just gonna plug it. This truck doesn't spend any time on the road, on the highway or anything like that. It stays on the farm, so plug it up and then we'll move on. All right, I got that tire fixed. Checking the oil in this truck and some fluids, making sure everything's good. Let me show you the welder I'm gonna put in the back. Real excited about that. It's gonna be nice just to pull up. And I wanna do some other things to the truck as well. I'm gonna put some brackets in the back, weld those so I can put some barbed wire spools, and I can just connect the barbed wire to the post and just drive it forward. All right, y'all, I got my coveralls on. I'm ready to put this welder on the back of this Dodge Cummins truck. I'm very excited. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I don't even know how much these welders weigh. I'm pretty sure they weigh a lot, but I wanna figure out a way to get it off this trailer and set it on the back of the flatbed. Once I figure out a way to secure it to the flatbed, I'm gonna change the oil, the filter, and kind of do all that stuff. I never know. I don't know when it was done, but I'm excited. I use the Dodge a lot for work, mainly doing fencing and stuff like that. And I want it to be a all-around ranch truck with some tools, a welder, and some fuel supply for the tractors in the event that something breaks down. I just need to get something done. It just needs to have everything on there. All right, let's get to it. Okay, so here's the welder. It's a Miller, and it works perfect. I do want to take the gas can off and clean out some of the stuff that's floating around in there. Probably buy some new spark plugs or just clean them for now because it is starting rather easily. It's got a carburetor on it, which I don't know much about. And I want to do something with this exhaust right here. I want to kind of put a 45-degree pipe on it and shoot that up to the sky. All right, let's get to it. So I'm trying to figure out how this thing is attached. I see a bolt here, a bolt there, and a bolt here. I'm gonna start off with that first because I'm not seeing anything else that holds it down. So we'll take our drill. I'm surprised that thing's ever fallen off because it's not even bolted down. But yeah, let's get it back onto something. I'm gonna put it on this flatbed Dodge Ram 3500. All right, I really need to figure out how I'm going to do the placement on this thing. The oil filter is on the left side. The oil drain plug's on the other side. Do I want it near the cab or do I need to put it near the back? It's a very tough question because I'd like to use the truck for, pulling trailers, gooseneck trailers if necessary. So I need to sit down and think about this one. What do you think? I like it. All right, I think I have the welder set where I want it at. I found an extra cylinder carrier around the barn. It's heavy duty. Gonna do some modifications to that, and I'm gonna put it in the back of the truck. That way we can strap our oxygen and acetylene tank. Let me show you. So I'm gonna cut off the wheels. So cut off the axle here at the welds. And it has this nice little carrying box, which is pretty cool. I'm also gonna cut it off, but I'm probably gonna put it on the other side. That way I can store some tools if I need it or whatever. So let's get to it. I was able to cut off the box on the cylinder carrier and I had to grind off the axle. Let me show you. That part was grinded right here, all grinding. And then right here, I took the torch. That was pretty easy taking off. So I'm gonna see how it fits. All right, I got it where I want it at. Let me show you what it looks like. Not too bad for a spot. I kind of want it everything on this side. That way I can just pull up and, use the torch or use the welder and go on about my business. Absolute stupid design. The oil catches on the bottom, but there's no hose for it. Obviously it needs to be on the bottom, and a lot of it went to the back of it, which is fine. Find a plug and get a hose for it. That way we can drain it a little bit easier when we have to. Looks like this oil hasn't been changed in years. All right, everyone, I think I have most of the supplies that I need to get this welder going on the back of this truck. So I'm going to do some service on the welder first. So I bought all the oil, the air filter, and the oil filter, the spark plugs. I'm not worried about that right now. In addition to that, I want the welder to charge while it's driving. So it has a battery that's on board, and I bought the cables, 2 gauge, and I'm gonna connect that to the battery with a fuse, and whenever I'm using the welder, I'll remove the fuse. In addition to that, I bought some 2 gauge connectors, and yeah, so oh, and then I also had something custom made because the oil pan's at the bottom of it and it's too hard to change. So I had this custom little hose made. It's a hydraulic hose, and then this end goes in the oil pan, and then this holds the oil inside. So anyways, let's get to it. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and throw on this oil filter and air filter, and then put this hose on. Geez, look at all that oil in the truck bed, because the oil plug is right here, right there. The oil filter is right here, so we'll get that off and replaced. There's that new oil filter. All right, y'all, the next thing on my list is to get this modified oil drain plug put on. Let's do it. So if you see, right here is where the oil comes out, and it's just not working for me. So we have this modified piece right here. It'll go on like so. And now I can drain the oil somewhere over here into a bucket or something. There you go. Maybe I'll make a hole right here where I could drain it underneath. I don't know yet. Next part's pretty easy. We'll start filling up the oil. We're gonna have to make up a difference on the hose that was at it. All right, so I put 3 quarts in it. It's actually right at the fill mark, a little bit over it. I might just let out a little bit of oil. So didn't need to add anywhere near 3.25. Anyways, that kind of sums up the actual maintenance on this thing. Let's put the battery on there and go ahead and connect the battery to the terminal of this truck so I can charge while I'm driving. All right, here's the old battery. It looks like it was purchased back in January 2018. November 2018, but we got a new one, and looking forward to having a battery that actually works and when I need it to work. All right, y'all, here's the battery that I got. It's gonna work out perfect. I bought this originally for the green farm truck that I was gonna try to get running, but there seems like there's more to the issue with that truck that I'm willing to deal with right now. But we'll be able to connect our battery cables here and here, and it also has this little area where we can plug in extra stuff, positive and negative. So I'm going to plug the battery cable to this section here and run it underneath the truck up to the battery, and then this one I'll just ground to the truck bed. Cool, we got everything secured, good to go. Oh man, there we go. There's already a pre-drilled hole right here, so I'm going to go ahead and just use this right here. All right, it ain't pretty, but my cord can go through there now. All right, I got my full wire ran through. It's gonna connect right over here. I'm gonna leave a little bit of play in it because I'm gonna put a fuse in here so I can disconnect when I'm using the welder. The last thing I want to happen is it to send some type of crazy electric wave because it's a generator and mess up my battery or the computer system on this old truck. It ain't much on here, but you know, I don't want to risk anything being fried. I guess I don't even think this truck has a computer system now that I think about it. It's all just wires. There she is, y'all. She's a beauty. I mean, probably about 600,000 miles on it. I remember the first time Dad bought this truck, I thought it was the coolest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. There's a lot of wires and stuff going on around here. I probably could have used those. I might actually end up using this black wire right here. That'll save me some time. It was originally going to a hay fork in the back, and Dad had a remote in here to raise and lower the hay fork. So this is the wire that Dad had going to the hay fork. This is trash. But the cool thing is that this wire right here is salvageable, and I'm gonna shoot that up into the truck bed and use this to ground my battery on the welder. All right, y'all, got everything ran through. This is my positive cable. This is my negative cable. All of it's going to the battery up here. I got a little slack as well. That way I can put a fuse into it. All right, everyone. Now comes the fun part. This is where my acetylene tank's gonna go, an oxygen tank as well. It's got a little chain on it that goes around it. I got plenty of passage to get through here, load up to the loading dock, and put them into this holding area. But I'm gonna tack on a few welds, probably do one here, you know, a couple around the bottom, and you know, maybe one here. And then I'm going to have my hoses go onto some rims right here and here. All right, let's get to it. So this is kind of the concept of what I'm thinking, except it's going to be elevated, and I have some pipe that I'm going to recycle to use that. Obviously there'll be some spacing in between it, and I can wrap the wires around it, and that'll be that out of the way. So let's get to it. I went ahead and tacked our pipe down. I'm gonna go ahead and get a few more tacks around this thing. All right, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and tack my rim on there. Got a nice clean metal surface to attach it to. I think that's the perfect height. I mean, guys, we're just eyeballing this. You know, I don't really have a specific want and or need. You know, maybe down here a little bit. That way I can maybe try to hook up a trailer at some point. If that's even gonna be feasible, we'll see. But I really need a utility truck more than anything, and we already have the other diesel to pick stuff up and use a trailer. Not necessarily pick stuff up, but to use the trailer. Ah, man, so excited. We're getting so close to getting this done. It's gonna be nice, very nice. I think right here. I think that's a perfect place to roll it up, and let's do it. There we go. Let that cool off. There we go. Oh wow, that looks so good. I think that's exactly where I want it at. Let's go ahead and tack it in. we can go ahead and do our next one. Eyeball that one as well. Get that. Oh man, this looks good. Maybe something like here. Oh yeah. You know what? I got a level. That's pretty leveled right there. Hopefully it doesn't move. Oh, and it just did. So, maybe I could kind of, okay. I just scraped it where it needs to go. So, I can deal with a little bit of something being off. But, looks like that's the spot. Guys, check it out. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'll probably trim off the top a little bit right here. Same thing with this one. And wow, I can't wait to just pull up, connect everything, and just roll it out and get to work. Y'all, this is absolutely perfect for our ranch. We really don't plan on taking this truck anywhere often. Most of the time, if we do drive into town, it's to get fuel. But we have the other pickup truck for running errands, moving trailers, moving cattle. And you know, it's really hard to use that pickup truck when you're out in the field. I like that this truck can just throw things on here easily. There's no side bed. I want to add some other stuff to it. I think an air compressor, and then also a transfer tank for diesel fuel. One of my biggest complaints is having to drive the tractor home. A lot of times I would just love to just leave it out in the field for the time being and come back and air up a tire if necessary, fill the tractor up. This is going to work out perfect. I can't wait to start welding and putting up new fence around the field because we need it. We need it real bad. And the last thing I want to do is come to the house and disconnect whatever trailer is on this and then connect the welding trailer. Everything's on here. It's good to go. And that trailer is kind of hard to get into areas such as corrals and stuff like that. And the fields are, you know, pretty bad. We've discussed that with mesquite trees, and it's already a pain to fix one tire on a truck, but it's completely different to have to do it again on a trailer. So just something else you got to deal with. Anyways, I'm gonna roll all this up and see how we're looking. All right, y'all, so the next thing that I need on my rig is somewhere to put my barbed wire. If you've ever picked up barbed wire, if you ever used it, it's very heavy. They sell some things that you can put on your truck, like at the hitch and stuff like that. But I think since I'm just using this truck for fencing, I'm gonna make my own. I'm gonna put it right here in the flatbed, and what it's gonna do is it's gonna be able to hold two of them. And between both of the barbed wire rolls will go a 16-inch disc plow. And then I'm also going to do another one on this side over here, just because I need one that I can use to work on the fence with. So I could use this for scrap, pull it, and keep on moving. These, I'll just use these while I'm making newer fence. Okay, I already got my spot marked right here. That's where I'm going to go ahead and make my hole at. All right, y'all, I got this pole installed, and it's going to be able to hold two barbed wire rolls. I originally was going to put it here, but I needed to secure it to the steel frame underneath, and they run left to right. All right, everyone, we're gonna be wrapping up this Texas rig. We got everything completed. I finalized putting another pole over here. That way we can have barbed wire spools on both sides. In addition to that, we also added 2 rims over here to hold our negative and positive for welding. And then if you follow me right over here, I'll show you where the welder's set up at. So an old welder, I had a gentleman tell me this welder's probably better than any modern welder that's actually designed out there. So I don't know, I'm not a professional welder, but if you have an opinion on that, please let me know. And we have our acetylene and oxygen tank right here. It's all welded in like we did in the video. I'm gonna put a couple more straps to hold this on, get a longer hose, and probably do about 50 feet and figure out where to put that up next. But I kind of like it wrapped around all this stuff. I haven't done the wires yet for the welder and connected to the battery, but I'm missing two parts. It's probably cost another $5 to get those. But what I'm gonna do is put a fuse between the 2 positive batteries, and then the negative will just be ground into the battery. So when I'm driving this, the battery is actually gonna charge it. And then when I'm using it, I'll actually remove the fuse from it. That way we don't have any crazy circuits or anything like that travel towards the battery or fry anything. The good thing is about this truck, it doesn't have a computer system on it, so nothing too crazy. Anyways, that sums everything up here at Texas Beef Farm. We're getting ready for 4th of July weekend. I want to know in the comments what you would have done differently if this was your Texas rig. All right, thanks y'all.